I have not talked about Kobold Press in a while, and the reason for that is they didn't send me a lot of stuff due to the global pandemic, but right now I have their new book. It's called the Creature Codex, and no, I'm just kidding, of course. I already reviewed this thing. This thing is amazing, and their new book is called The Empire of the Ghouls, but I'm just not yet ready to talk about that one because there's a lot of books that come with it, and I want to read everything, and I want to present it to you guys in a good way, and that's why it's almost there. I promise in the near future it is coming, but right now I want to talk about something else because they have created this book again and they put it in one of these small little pocket editions that won't fit in your pocket. And I want to talk about this because I had a lot of questions about these. I want to talk about why I use them, why I choose to use them above the bigger versions, but there's also one major downside to these pocket versions, and I just want to talk about that today with you guys. So yeah, the Creature Codex, they're a direct follow-up to the Tome of Beasts, and everywhere the Tome of Beasts went a little bit wrong, maybe, especially with the challenge ratings being way too low for the monsters. They were just killing parties while their challenge ratings were correct. They fixed that here. It has brilliant artwork. It's one of those bestiaries you just need. If you are like me and you're a big fan of bestiaries, you just need the Creature Codex as well as the Tome of Beasts. And there's, by the way, a Tome of Beasts 2 coming someday. But they chose to put these bestiaries into a smaller package, and that is a good choice they did. It is amazing that they did that because these things, they are heavy. I mean, you can't just put them in your bag and carry them around to each game. You really need to know which book you're going to use before you go to a game, to run a game. And that's a problem with me. I'm not always as prepared as I should be. So I sometimes need to take some books and then I just sit down at the table, and while the rest is still chatting it up, I'm just like flipping through my books looking for monsters to use, and then in my head I do a quick scenario thing, and it almost always works out. But the problem is, big books, you need to carry around a lot of big books, and I have the Tome of Beasts, I have the Creature Codex, and then there is the books from Nord Games where they now have two very cool bestiaries. Then there is the Monster Manual, there is the other monster manuals by Wizards, because there's a lot of books to carry around as a Dungeon Master, and having a pocket edition of every book is really amazing. It is really cool, and it is just something, they sent it to me and I immediately, I don't know if you remember, when I got this one, I was so excited that I just gave away my Tome of Beasts on this channel, which I don't regret at all because I don't use the bigger one. And I would give away my big Creature Codex also, but I already promised it to a good friend of mine, so I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you why you should pick this one up. If you have the big Creature Codex, might not be necessary, but if you're still on the fence on buying a Creature Codex, you should pick up the Pocket Edition. Now, what is the great thing about the Pocket Edition? The great thing about the Pocket Edition is that it is a small book, it has exactly the same content, and I know that is hard to believe if you see, it has exactly the same content, but it is a soft cover flippy floppy thing that has like these more plasticky pages, which by the way bring the artwork to life a lot. Like the plasticky of the papers just pops out the colors very well. So for me that is an upside. The artwork in this one actually comes more to life than the artwork in the big book, because the big book has paper and it just, I mean, the colors are not as vibrant, if you know what I'm talking about. Then it is a pocket edition, so it will fit in your backpack. If you use a few of these just like this, you put it in your bag. They call it the pocket edition, but it won't fit in your pocket. Believe me, I tried. Unless you're one of those people that wears like these long black jackets, long black robes type of persons. Those have very deep pockets, so you can probably fit one of these in there. So if you do that, then lucky you, but I'm not able to fit it in a regular jeans pocket, so it's not a pocket edition. I'm putting way too much emphasis on it not being a pocket edition, while it's not really a problem. It is a small version of the Creature Codex. Now, it has one downside. And I didn't notice that until I used the Tome of Beasts for one of my games a few weeks ago. I used the Tome of Beasts for one of my games, and that is, this might seem really stupid, might seem crazy what I'm about to say. I put it on the table and I opened it, and here's the problem. When you put it on the table like this, see what happens? Well, nothing really happens. If you put it on a flat surface, it goes boom, 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 and you just lose the page where you were playing, and you need to put stuff on it. But the problem is the book is really small, so it goes downhill. If you put a glass on it, it will fall over. You cannot put dice on it because there's not enough weight for it. So for me, that was kind of a problem. I had to put my finger in here, or I had to put something in between the pages, and it is just, for some people it might not be that big of a problem, but for me it was a real hassle while playing, so I really need to get used to that. But on the other hand, the upsides from having a pocket version of the Creature Codex is amazing. Also, a lot of questions I get from for the pocket edition is the texts. Is all the text there, like the flavor text of all the monsters? Did they cut out some? No, they didn't. And believe it or not, it is still very, very readable. The text is very readable. It's very hard to show on the camera, but you can. It just reads like a normal book now. And having this, I'm like, why did the big one even exist? Because it is exactly the same. It weighs a lot less, like a lot less. This is a lot lighter than this one. It is very cool to put in your pocket, and I just wanted to share this with you guys. I know this is just an off-the-cuff video about me talking about a pocket edition of a book that has already been out for a while, and another book that has been out for much, much, much longer. But I had a lot of questions in my comments from people that didn't own it, like, is it worth buying? I see a lot of questions on Facebook, people asking if it's worth buying, or if they suck or whatever. No, they don't suck. It is great. It has exactly the same content. It even has better artwork. The artwork is the same, but it comes more to life. The colors are way more vibrant, to my opinion. And there's only one downside, and that is you need to use things to put in between your pages, or you will just be looking for your monsters all the time during the game. Also, if you're one of those dungeon masters that relies on taking the train or the bus to your next session, and you have like an hour or 2 hours to kill on the train or a bus, or after school or after work or whatever, perfect. Take this one. Just open it. If you're sitting on the train with like a book like this, it looks a bit weirder. Let's say that. People are like, what the hell is he doing? And there's all kind of monsters in this book. But people won't look twice if you're reading this thing, Creature Codex, by Kobold Press. So yeah, I will talk about Kobold Press a lot in the coming weeks. I haven't been talking about them a lot. I still love them to death. I still use their books all the time. I still just am a big fan, a big speaker for Kobold Press, and that won't change ever in the history of my channel, probably. Until next time, I hope your inspiration may guide you.